example, for the last 5 years, we've been talking about heart rate variability.
Yeah. Can you explain that real quick?
Yeah. So heart rate variability is the amount of time between successive beats of the heart. If your heart is beating at 60 beats per minute, it's not beating every second. So that's fairly counterintuitive. You would expect that it's beating every second if it's beating at 60 beats per minute, but it's not. It might be beating at 1.1 seconds and then 0.9 seconds and then 0.7 and then 1.3. And it turns out that variability, the changes in time between successive beats of the heart is a good thing. And the reason for that is it's this lens into your autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system is effectively what governs your body. And it consists of sympathetic and parasympathetic activity. So sympathetic is like heart rate up, blood pressure up, respiration up. It's what's happening when you're thinking about something or when you're exercising or even when you inhale. That's sympathetic, heart rate up. Parasympathetic's all the opposite, heart rate down, blood pressure down, respiration down. It's what helps you fall asleep. When you exhale, your heart rate goes down. And it turns out that what you want for every sympathetic, for there to be a parasympathetic response. That means your body is in balance. And heart rate variability increases the more that sympathetic and parasympathetic are in balance. So what you ultimately want is to have a high heart rate variability. Whoop measures heart rate variability throughout the day, but importantly, we measure it during slow wave sleep when your body is recovering and restoring. And by taking this statistic every night in a control, we're able to understand your body's recovery and how well you're sleeping and all these things. Now, I bring all of that up because this was a very fringe statistic 10 years ago. And it was something I did medical research on. And I said, I think this is a really powerful statistic. You know, when things tend to be followed around by sort of like cults and have small gatherings of people using them, they actually have the potential to be very interesting later. So for example, heart rate variability was being used by Olympic power lifters in the 1980s, Tour de France cyclists in the 1990s. The CIA was using it for lie detection. I'm like, wow, this is a really powerful statistic. Even cardiologists were using it to predict heart attacks. And yet no one could measure this thing. It required an electrocardiogram to measure heart rate variability. And so I said, okay, first of all, if we can build technology to continuously measure heart rate variability, that's going to be a bit of a breakthrough. So as we were talking about earlier, really one of the main things that we spent the first 3 years of the company doing was trying to figure out how to measure heart rate variability accurately. We now measure it the most accurately of any product on the market. Back to marketing for half a second, because I just want to close this thought. We've been talking about heart rate variability for 5 years, and over the course of that time, we've now become a thought leader on that specific topic. So if you were to Google heart rate variability, you would see that the response in Google for what is heart rate variability will be answered now by Whoop. And I bring that up because that's the type of organic brand building that's actually the best form of marketing, is when you can actually be delivering true value to a customer or even someone who just wants to understand the space and effectively be that authority. And we've now seen that with slow wave sleep and REM sleep and all these different types of terms. Even the Whoop podcast is another form of organic content where I'll interview professional athletes or executives or leaders. And so I bring all of this up to say that I think those aspects of building a business and brand building and marketing are very important to what we do.
Present